Happy Tuesday, everybody. It's September the 15th, and these are some of the headlines on BizarreBiz.com. Birds dropping dead in New Mexico, hundreds of thousands. Scientists create gene-edited animals to boost food production. QAnon website shuts down after operator identified. Mysterious drone incursions over U.S. anti-ballistic missile battery. All of these headlines and more on BizarreBiz.com. Dude, it's Bizarre Biz headlines, 100% unfiltered. Wildlife experts in New Mexico say birds in the region are dropping dead in alarming numbers, potentially in the hundreds of thousands. It appears to be an unprecedented and very large number. Martha Desmond, a professor at New Mexico State University's Department of Fish, Wildlife, and Conservation Ecology, told NBC's Albuquerque affiliate KOB. New Mexico residents have reported coming upon dead birds on hiking trails, missile ranges, and in other locations. In a video posted by a journalist from the Sun News, Austin Fisher shows a cluster of dead birds he discovered while on a hike on September 13th in the state's northern Rio Arriba County. I have no idea, Fisher says in the video as he pans the camera to reveal what appears to be dozens of birds laying dead on the ground. Desmond said it's difficult to say how many birds are dying, but that there have been reports across the state. I can say it would be easily in the hundreds of thousands. My first thought was the smoke from California. I mean, it can't be good for you. It's got to have toxicity in it. But I'm not a scientist, so I'll keep reading. Multiple agencies are investigating the occurrences, including the Bureau of Land Management and the White Sands Missile Range, a military testing area. On the missile range, we might, in a week, find a report of less than a half a dozen birds, says Trish Butler, a biologist at the range. Last week, we've had a couple of hundred, so that really got our attention. But that's funny, because why are you finding 10 birds over your missile range? What are you guys doing over there? So maybe it's not the smoke. Maybe it's the missile range. I'll keep reading. It's unclear to scientists why the die-off is occurring, and Desmond says it's possible it was caused by a cold front that hit New Mexico last week or by recent droughts. Desmond also told KOB the deaths could be related to the wildfires in the West. There may have been some damage in these birds in their lungs. It may have pushed them out early when they weren't ready to migrate. The Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife said on Twitter that not much is known about the impact of smoke and wildfires on birds. Scientists are asking the public to report the sightings of them to an online database. There's a link on this website where I'm at. And that people safely collect the dead birds so that researchers can study them more closely. So I'm going to link this at BizarreBiz.com. This is very concerning. Scientists have created gene-edited pigs, goats, and cattle to produce sperm with traits such as disease-resistant and higher meat quality in what they say is a step towards genetically enhanced livestock to improve food production. So, GMO livestock. Okay. The animals created for the first time by researchers in the United States and Britain using a gene editing tool called CRISPR. I don't know if this is good, y'all. Could be used as surrogate sires, essentially sterile bank slates that could then be transplanted with stem cells that produce the desired sperm. The process could help farmers rear healthier, more productive animals using fewer resources such as feed, medicines, and water, they said. It could also give breeders in remote regions of the world better access to genetic material of elite animals from elsewhere, allowing for precision breeding. With this technology, we can better dissemination of desirable traits and improve the efficiency of food production, said John Oatley, a productive biologist at Washington State University in the U.S. who co-led the work. He said this could have a major impact on addressing food insecurity around the world. If we can tackle this genetically, then that means less water, less feed, fewer antibiotics that we have to put into the animals. Yet gene editing has been a contentious subject, and the latest advance could face resistance from critics opposed to the genetic modification of animals, which they regard as dangerous tampering with nature. The researchers stressed that the gene editing process they used was designed only to bring about changes within an animal species that could occur naturally. This research was a proof of concept, they said, and showed that the technique could work. Current regulations, however, mean that gene-edited surrogate sires could not be used in the food chain anywhere in the world, even though their offspring would not be gene-edited, the researchers added. Oatley's team used CRISPR to knock out a gene specific to male fertility in the animal embryos that would be raised to become the surrogate sires. The male animals were then born sterile, but began producing sperm after researchers transplanted stem cells from donor animals to their testes. This showed the world that this technology is real and it can be used, said Bruce Whitelaw, an expert at the Rosalind Institute of Britain's Edinburgh University, who worked on the team. We now have to work out how best to use it productively to help feed our growing population. I have no doubt that absolutely nothing will go wrong at all while messing around with CRISPR. I'm going to link it at bizarrebiz.com.
What's up, Bizarre fam? Let me tell you what I'm excited about right now. Give me just a second. Bizarre Abyss merchandise. Look at this. It's so comfortable. It's so stretchy. It fits most faces, if not all faces. I mean, if it doesn't fit your face, there's something wrong with your face, I think. It doesn't hurt your ears like most masks do. And our new logo's on it. Anyway, I'll settle down for a moment. I just wanted to share the amazing news. BizarreAbyss.com, y'all. Bizarre Abyss merchandise. Make it happen.
BizarreAbyss.com. Real news, no bullshit.
A popular website for posts about the conspiracy group QAnon abruptly shut down after a fact-checking group identified the developer as a New Jersey man. QMap.pub is among the largest websites promoting the QAnon conspiracy, with over 10 million visitors in July, according to web analytics firm SimilarWeb Limited, and served as the primary archive of QAnon posts. The website aggregates posts by the Q, the anonymous figure behind the QAnon theory, and the creator of the QMap.pub website is known online only as QAnon. The fact-checking site, Logically.ai, identified Jason Jelinas of New Jersey on September 10th as the developer and mouthpiece for the site. The New Jersey State records connect QAnon to Jelinas' home address, Bloomberg found. Reached outside his home, Jelinas declined to comment on the Logically report, saying only that someone had sent it to him on Twitter after it was published. I'm not going to comment on any of that, Jelinas said when asked if he was behind the website QMap. I'm not going to get involved. I want to stay out of it. Should we just believe in that something's going to happen and wait? Or, I mean, isn't that what they say? Wearing an American flag baseball cap, Jelinas said that QAnon is a patriotic movement to save the country. Hours after the initial contact from Bloomberg News, the website was no longer accessible. A LinkedIn profile for Jelinas says he works as an information security analyst at Citigroup. Citigroup declined to comment. I bet he doesn't anymore. Dude, that sucks. Oh my God. A link. The QAnon theory posts that Donald Trump is battling it posts that he is battling a deep state ring of child sex traffickers. It's already motivated some domestic extremists to violent acts or threaten violence, according to the FBI. As some in Trump's inner circle have shown signs of support for the conspiracy or its followers, questions have swirled about the identities of those responsible for promoting it. In August, Trump said that QAnon followers are people who love our country. Well, they are. The president's director of social media, Dan Scavino, as well as the president's son, Eric Trump, have posted QAnon imagery. QAnon, the online name, is QMap's creator, also runs a Patreon account, which receives more than $3,000 a month in donations, according to the Patreon site. In March, QAnon announced that Patreon, an upcoming Android app named Armor of God, a social network for followers of QAnon. In Armor of God's Google Play Store profile, the service describes itself as a platform designed for patriots worldwide to create and share content, including prayers, news, memes, and posts. The developer's email address listed on the Google Play app is support@patriotplatforms.com. According to New Jersey State business records, Patriot Platform LLC's address matches Galina's home. After a Bloomberg News investigation, the Armor of God app was no longer accessible on the Google Play Store. He's a little late covering his tracks, y'all. I don't think we need to trust in this process. I think we know what's going on here. According to its website, Patriot Platforms is a technology company building next-generation social media applications and tools. The description is similar to the business purpose stated on the New Jersey business record linked to Galina's home address. Create next-generation news and social media platforms. As of Friday, the Patriot Platforms website is also offline. I don't think we need to trust in this particular process because I think somebody's been, associated with the image of QAnon and the group, and now that there's a face to the name, it's not really a mystery anymore. I guess the more pertinent question now is, who is this person's, where's he getting his information? I find it really hard to believe that somebody who works at Citigroup on apps or in their to help prepare them for attacks or whatever his job is. I don't know what his job is, but I find it hard to believe that he has these highly classified contacts. So the question is where is he getting his information? Number one. And number two is, how is he getting his information? So I think, having said that, is the dude a hacker, or is that how he's getting his information? And I'm not entirely sure that he actually knew anything that was happening. It was really just like, I hope this happens. Did we actually see any evidence of this stuff happening, or were we still waiting for stuff to pop off? So that's, hey man, I get it. I get the following, and I understand the importance of, and I mean, some of the information seemed legit, but dude's got a lot of questions to answer, and I'm sure that the FBI will probably be knocking on dude's door, unfortunately, pretty soon for him. So anyway, the more that comes out about this, I'll try to keep you updated. I'm going to link it at BizarreBus. Earlier this year, it came to the attention of Warzone, which is where I'm reading the story at, but that's at thedrive.com. It came to their attention that a series of bizarre and highly concerning events took place in late winter of 2019 at Anderson Air Force Base on the island of Guam. As we understand it, between late February and early March of last year, The massive installation experienced repeated incursions by unmanned aircraft that appeared to be extremely interested in one highly sensitive area of the highly strategic base. The U.S. Army's Terminal High Altitude Defense Area Defense Battery that is tasked with defending the island from ballistic missile attacks. Earlier, I did a couple of videos about drones over some of our nuclear facilities out west. Is this related? The incursions, which were said to have occurred in late March and early April 2019, had been observed by personnel manning guard towers that loom over the highly secure FAD area, which is the area defense part of this base, situated towards the northern end of the air base, often referred to as Northwest Field. Anderson itself takes up the northern and western reaches of the entire island. The intruding craft were described as quadcopter-like vehicles with bright spotlights that flew from over the water and then across the northwest base area at not much higher than treetop level, maybe 20 to 30 feet above ground. On a number of nights, the craft would make multiple incursions. In the very early morning hours, they would show up, disappear, then come back a few hours later. The spotlight that shone down from the craft made it hard for personnel to make out a detailed description of it, although estimates range from being 3 to 5 feet in diameter, largely based on the size of the spotlight. The craft would maneuver dynamically, appearing with the spotlight on and then disappearing, just to reappear moments later over to one side or another with the spotlight on, which was unsettling to those witnessing it. Supposedly, there was a concerted effort to identify, track it down, and to take it down, the mysterious craft. But it doesn't seem that those efforts were successful based on our understanding of the events. The information is highly interesting, if not downright alarming, but we had to find hard evidence that at least something similar did indeed happen during this time frame. So they were able to get straight from the airbase, like moment to moment, what had happened. The war zone was able to confirm that at least one of the incidents described did occur, though the Freedom of Information Act, through the Freedom of Information Act, by which we obtained a copy of any relevant entry from the Air Force's 36th Security Forces Squadron Internal Crime Blotter. This is a unit that is part of the 36th Wing at Anderson Air Force Base. The entry describes the possible drone as being of an unknown color and size, with a bright light. And then it goes on to give time frames as well as pictures of the actual reports. And the jet patrols that are referenced in the documents are not aircraft, but are jungle enforcement teams of the 36th Security Forces Squadron. The Air Force describes the teams as being tasked with preventing security breaches, apprehending poachers, and securing the perimeter around the jungle. The team's personnel move silently through the jungle that permeates much of the base at night and have unique human tracking skills. And you can read about all that in a link that's on this website. So all of this is very interesting. So what are these drones actually about? It's pretty concerning that, first of all, they have absolute, they can just go in wherever they want. The airspace is open. No one's shooting them down. I think that everyone is probably afraid to shoot them down because what if they're Army, you know? But I think that the Army needs to make it clear they're not sending in drones, and if you see one, shoot that fucker down and take the freaking card out of it or something, so that you can see what's going on. But I don't know, dude. I'm going to link it at Bizarrebus so you can read it. Thanks for tuning in tonight, and I'll see you later. Stay bizarre.
Yeah. Make sure you take a deep breath. Think positive. Just saying.
Dude. Penguins given free rein to roam around the aquarium since there's no visitors allowed. That's awesome! Dude, look. He's looking around. He's loving it. I got a new section on the headlines page at the bottom called Bad Seeds. Matt Gaetz of Florida, 1st Congressional District, mocked the whole process by wearing a gas mask when reviewing the funding. You're a super freaking winner, dude. An Alaska airman has been punished for peeing in the office coffee maker. Dude, why? Why? Did you take it in the bathroom with you? Did you stand in the kitchen and whip it out? Clearly, this airman is dedicated to getting kicked the F out. He's trying really hard, y'all.